97% of authors have absolutely no say in their covers whatsoever. I have one author friend who didn't even know what her book cover looked like until she happened to stumble across it on Amazon. I've also had author friends who hated their covers, loathed them, and asked their publishers to change them, and their publishers said, "Too bad, you're stuck with it." So the truth is, we don't really get a say in what our covers look like, which is why I feel really fortunate, because my publisher did ask for my opinion, and I did have a lot of say in my covers. So we'll start. The making of a book cover. There we go. Sweet, this works. All right, this is my design team at Simon & Schuster. They're dressed up for Halloween here, and there's a lot of people that go into the making of a cover, and both of my covers took about 8 months before they were finished. The first step was, once my publisher decided that they weren't going to use stock photography, that they were going to do a live photo shoot for the cover, they needed to find a photographer. And they found a man by the name of James Porto, who had just finished doing an angel photo shoot. And since my book is about angels, they thought he would be a great person to do this. So they sent the book to him, and he read it one rainy day in New York, and as soon as he finished, he drew this exact image. He had this image of an angel skydiving out of heaven while the angel's wings deteriorated behind him. Hang on, I'll get this. Okay, so before the photo shoot, my publisher asked me to choose the models who would represent the characters in the book. And I thought this was really cool, because a lot of times you'll notice when you're reading a book, the model on the front cover looks nothing like the character in the book. And I remember I was sitting in my study and this email popped into my inbox. It was from my editor, and she said, "We're on the way to the photo shoot right now. I'm sending over several headshots of models. Scroll through them real fast, choose the models you want, and send them back." And as you can imagine, that was kind of stressful, because 20 minutes isn't a very long time to go through headshots and pick your models. And I didn't want readers later on emailing me saying, "The models you picked look nothing like the characters." So I'm going to test you guys, and I'm going to show you some of the exact same headshots I was sent, and I'm going to see if you can tell which model I selected to play Patch on the cover of Hush Hush. Has everyone seen the cover? Yes, okay. So here is choice A. We've got this brooding, arrogant looking guy, and I kind of like that he looked like he had a lot of confidence. I also loved choice B's eyes. They're very intense, and I thought this would be a good representation of Patch. And I love this guy's hair. He's got gray hair. All right, so let's go back. Raise your hand if you think I went with choice A. Anybody? Nobody thinks A. How about B? You guys are pretty confident. C? See if you're right. Thank you. I'm not good with this. There, you got it. That was the character, or the model I chose to be Patch. So now we're at the photo shoot, and this is actually a picture of my editor at Simon & Schuster. And I think she'd be mortified if she knew I took this off her Facebook page and have it in this presentation. So she's at the photo shoot jumping on a trampoline, which was used in the cover, and I'll talk about that in just a minute. So we've got our model, and he's at the photo shoot, and he went into 2 hours of makeup to get these wing scars painted on his back. If you've read the book, you know that the fallen angels in my story, when they're banished from heaven, their wings are ripped out so they can't accidentally fly back into heaven. So this process took 2 hours. And then after that, he spent 6 hours doing backflips on a giant trampoline in the studio while the photographer was down there trying to capture the perfect shot. And I had a chance to talk to the model a little after the photo shoot. And of course, he's a model, so taking care of his body is important to him. He works out every day. But he said that this workout was so intense that he didn't work out the rest of the week. And what I'm going to show you next are some of the outtakes from the photo shoot. And my editor sent these to me, and she said, we want you to choose the photo you want to be on the cover of your book. This is the first one, and I really loved this one because you can see the wing scars on his back. And I sent it to my agent. I said, I really love this one, but my agent said, he looks like a bird being shot out of the sky. So we didn't go with this shot. This one has Nora in it as well, and I thought this was a gorgeous picture, but I just wasn't sure it was the right feel for my book. Another romantic one, but again, just not sure it was what I wanted to be on the cover of my book. And as a little interesting side note, they got this shot by having the model, he was on his stomach at the edge of the trampoline, holding this 5'11" girl model for 20 minutes. And he said his arms were just trembling by the time the shot was done. And then I saw this shot. Fell in love. I emailed my editor back and I said, this is it, this is the one I want to be on the cover. And she was delighted because this is the one that she also liked the best. So we were all ready to put this on the cover, and my publisher sent out to a couple bookstores to get feedback. And one bookstore in particular wanted the photo rotated so that Patch looked like he was falling this way. And the photographer said, well, that goes against physics. Nobody falls up through the sky. But the bookstore was pretty adamant that they rotate it, and so in the end, the photographer relented, and they rotated it, and we have the cover we have today. And the wings were photoshopped in, they were not. I've had a couple people ask me if that was part of the shoot. No, those were photoshopped in. So that is how the cover of Hush Hush came to be.